Dear friends, in this lecture we will discuss little about intervals. Okay. Actually, order properties help us to define intervals. Okay. So let us take two real numbers a and b with the property that a is strictly less than b. Okay. Now we define bounded interval. Now we define bounded intervals. Okay. First we define open interval, bounded open interval, that is denoted by the symbol open a comma b. We say open interval ab, and that is the set of all real numbers which is strictly bigger than a and strictly less than b. Okay. And here a and b are called endpoints. Here a and b are called endpoints. Okay. So in open interval AB, the endpoints does not belong to the set open interval AB. Okay. So if we include the endpoints with the open interval AB, that is, we include the endpoints, then that set is called closed interval. So this is the set of all real numbers such that a less or equal to x less or equal to b. Okay. And next to define semi-open or semi-closed interval, that is, so this is a set of all real numbers such that a less or equal to x strictly less than b. So this is called semi-open intervals or semi-closed intervals or half open intervals or half closed intervals. Okay. So next we define another semi-open intervals or semi-closed intervals or half open intervals or half closed intervals. So this is the set of all real numbers such that a is strictly less than x and less or equal to b. Okay. So all are the four types of bounded intervals, and we define length of any one of the four intervals is, so length is defined as b minus a. Okay. So this is the open interval, this is the closed interval, and these two are semi-open or semi-closed intervals. Okay. Now if a equal to b in open interval AB, then open interval AB is nothing but the empty set. Okay. And if a equal to b in closed interval AB, then closed interval AB is nothing but the singleton set A. And same thing happens for semi-open or semi-closed intervals. Okay. So next we define unbounded intervals. Okay. So first we define infinite open intervals. So this is a collection of all real numbers which is strictly bigger than a. Next to define another infinite open intervals minus infinity b, which is the collection of all real numbers such that real numbers are strictly less than b. Okay. Next we define infinite closed interval. It is a collection of all real numbers such that x is greater or equal to a. Another infinite closed interval, that is a collection of all real numbers such that those real numbers are less or equal to b. Many times we think R as an interval as minus infinity comma infinity. Okay, and here infinity and minus infinity is not a real number. These are the symbols. Okay, nested intervals. Okay, let in, where n belongs to natural numbers, is a collection of intervals. We say this collection is nested if I1 is superset of I2, superset of I3 and so on. Okay. Okay. Now we give some examples of nested intervals. The first example, okay. So let us take in equal to closed interval 0, 1 by n, where n belongs to script n. Okay. Then, so this is the 0, this is 1, this is half, this is 1/3, this is 1/4, and onwards. So obviously I1 is the superset of I2, which is the superset of I3 and onwards. So this collection is nested. Okay. Next observation, every interval of this collection contains the element 0. So 0 belongs to in the intersection. Okay, as 0 belongs to every interval. Okay, so if possible, let the intersection contains another point except 0. Okay, then obviously that element is strictly positive. Okay, so by Archimedean property, there exists a natural number m such that 1 by m is strictly less than t. Okay, that is 0 strictly less than 1 by m, strictly less than t. So this implies is t does not belong to Im, and this implies is t does not belong to intersection of n belongs to script n. So t cannot be strictly positive, that is t must be 0. So the intersection of the collection of intervals is singleton set 0. Okay. Next example, let us take in is equal to open interval 0, 1 by n, where n belongs to n. Okay. Then obviously this is the nested intervals. Okay, and since 0 does not belong to each interval, so by our previous example, the intersection of all intervals is empty set. Okay. Okay, next example, we consider the set in equal to infinite closed interval n, infinity. then obviously this is the nested intervals. Okay, and if the intersection contains one element, okay, then by Archimedean property there exists a natural number such that m is strictly greater than L, because Archimedean property is equivalent to the fact that set of naturals is unbounded. So if this intersection contains one element, say L, at least one element L, then L is a real number. So obviously by Archimedean property there are at least one natural number which is bigger than L. Okay, so this implies is L does not belongs to Im. So the intersection is empty. Okay, next example, if we consider In equal to infinite open intervals n comma infinity, then this is an nested intervals and intersection of all the intervals is empty, and it's empty. Okay, so this is the collection of closed bounded nested intervals, closed and bounded nested intervals. So in example 2, this is the collection of open and bounded nested intervals. Okay, in example 3, this is the closed and unbounded nested intervals, and this is the collection of all open and unbounded intervals. Okay, so one observation is that if we consider collection of closed bounded nested intervals, then their intersection is non-empty. Okay, and in other cases where we consider collection of open bounded nested intervals or closed unbounded nested intervals or open unbounded nested intervals, in all the cases the intersection is empty. Okay, so this observation motivates us to write the next theorem. Okay, so next we discuss nested intervals property. Theorem. Let In be the collection of closed bounded intervals such that I1 is a superset of I2, superset of I3, and so on. That is the In is the collection of closed bounded nested intervals. Okay, then there exists a real number zeta such that zeta belongs to the intersection of all the intervals. Okay, proof. Okay, so given that I1 is the superset of I2 and I2 is the superset of I3 and so on. Okay, that is all the intervals is subset of I1. Okay, thus the set A1, A2, A3, okay, thus the set S is non-empty and bounded above. So every element inside the set S is less or equal to the element B1. So by supremum property, the set S has the supremum. Supremum of S exists, say zeta. Okay. So obviously n is less or equal to zeta for all n. Okay. Now our claim zeta is less or equal to Bn for all n. Okay. So if our claim is not true, then there exists a k belongs to n such that corresponding Bk is strictly less than zeta. Now all the intervals In is contained in Ik if n is strictly greater than k. So this implies n less or equal to Bk for all n strictly greater than k, and since A1 less or equal to A2 less or equal to AK, so An is less or equal to Bk for all n belongs to script n. Okay. Now we consider a real number epsilon as zeta minus Bk, then it is obviously positive. Okay. Since zeta is the supremum of the set S, so for that epsilon there exists an element AP belongs to S such that zeta minus epsilon is strictly less than AP, which implies zeta minus epsilon is nothing but Bk, so Bk is strictly less than AP. Okay. So we have seen that all ANs are less or equal to Bk, but here we established that there is at least one AP which is bigger than Bk, so that is not possible, that is a contradiction. Okay. And that contradiction arises from our assumption that there exists at least one k such that corresponding Bk is strictly less than zeta. That is, all Bn is greater or equal to zeta for all n. So An less or equal to zeta less or equal to Bn for all n. So this implies zeta belongs to the intersection An. That means the intersection is non-empty. Okay. So next observation. So if we consider the set T as B1, B2, B3 and so on, then we have seen that this set is non-empty and bounded below. So by supremum property of R, infimum of T exists. Okay. And if we proceed as our previous result, then we can show that An is less or equal to eta less or equal to Bn for all n belongs to script n. That is, the intersection contains another element eta. Okay. Example, let us consider In as closed interval -1 by n, comma 1 plus 1 by n. Okay. Then it is easy to establish that the intersection is closed interval minus 1 comma 1. Okay. So next result, let In equal to closed interval an comma bn. Okay. And if In be a nested collection of closed bounded intervals and the infimum of the set bn minus an is 0. Okay, that is the length of the interval goes to 0 as n tends to infinity, then the intersection is singleton set zeta, that is here zeta equal to eta. Okay, so proof of the result. In our previous result we have seen that the intersection is non-empty intersection. So this is non-empty, since this is a closed sequence of closed bounded nested intervals. So this intersection is non-empty. Okay, so let x be an element from the intersection. Okay, since x belongs to in every intervals, so an less or equal to x less or equal to bn. Okay, thus x is the upper bound of the set n. This implies is x is a upper bound of the set an. But in our previous result we have seen that zeta is the supremum of the set an. So this implies is zeta is the supremum and x is a upper bound. So zeta less or equal to x. Okay, again x is a lower bound of the set bn. X is a lower bound of the set bn and eta is the infimum of the set bn. So obviously x less or equal to eta. So we have seen that an less or equal to zeta less or equal to eta less or equal to b, which implies is eta minus zeta is greater or equal to 0 and less or equal to bn minus an. Okay, so this implies is that eta minus zeta is a lower bound of the set bn minus an. Okay, but given 0 is the infimum, that is 0 is the greatest lower bound of the set bn minus an. So 0 is the greatest lower bound and eta minus zeta is the lower bound, that is eta minus zeta is less or equal to 0. So eta minus zeta is less or equal to 0 and 0 less or equal to eta minus zeta. That implies is eta equal to zeta. Okay, as we have seen that an less or equal to zeta less or equal to x less or equal to eta less or equal to bn. So zeta equal to x equal to eta, that is that intersection contains exactly one element, it is zeta. Okay, and this completes the proof. Thank you.